Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Podcast. I'm sorry, we tried going live previously, and you couldn't see or hear me, apparently. So I am back. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I truly apologize for all of the inconvenience, but we are here. We are happy. So how are you doing, Pink?
I'm doing pretty good today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got a new laptop, so that's kind of the issue we were having. I figured the new laptop would work, but apparently it wasn't working like it should. So without further ado, we are back on our show. We're back on our shit. It happens. Trial and error shit. However, did you see the video that Katie made us?
Yeah, the beginning part.
Yeah. I'm going to play it again for those that weren't watching because I'm going to probably delete the last feed because you can't fucking hear me.
Yeah.
But let me play it. Let me play it again.
Pink Sock Podcast, your go-to destination for a wild and unpredictable ride through the realms of music, comedy, cannabis culture, and beyond. With your host, the fearless, the irreverent, Mike Usenick, presenting eclectic, entertaining, enlightening, surprising content. Join in the fun, push boundaries, challenge conventions, explore the spectrum of human experience. We won't shy away from any topic. Entertainment, exploration, connection. Join us.
How awesome is that? I
You
fucking
have
love
your
it.
last name as a website?
Yes, Katie set that
That's
up for
pretty
me.
rad.
Yeah, it wasn't even expensive. So if anybody wants to start a website, I think I know what happened with my laptop. By the way,
Okay.
I downloaded Linux last night, and Elon was teaching me how to use it, and maybe something with Linux prevented my shit from being used from EV
Oh,
months. Because the thing with Linux is amazing once you get the hang of it. But let me move my camera on here
I love
so you
that
can
your
see my
hair
eyes.
takes up your whole background.
Right, my hair is so fucking huge, but it drives me nuts because I love Linux so far, but I've had so much downfalls with it because I'm not used to so much protection. I guess
Yeah, it's a very technical uh
application.
program application. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But guys, if you want to join us, I did put the linkarino. I put it in the description so you guys can join us. Katie's sending me all these messages. I can't see them, dear, because I am live right now. So, uh,
I was wondering what
but
that noise was. I was like, is that me? And I keep looking
that's
around my screen for like notifications and nothing's happening.
no, my phone is actually on my laptop. Today's episode was pretty much a trial run for what's to come because I do
Mm.
plan on doing more pre-recorded content instead of non-pre-recorded content. And we're probably just going to do lives every now and again once I start getting the hang of that. And when we do go live, we're going to have an open studio where anybody can show up.
That sounds good.
And that's been the plan I've been wanting to go with, but I keep going live because I like doing the live content. But it's easier to get guests on because not everybody's fucking available between noon and whatever else.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to be going the pre-recorded routes. We're going to do a dry launch of it next week, actually. What is up, Jacob Keith, my brother? How you doing? He said blank.
Right? I was looking and I'm like, what did he say? Like, it's just
he's so high that he doesn't
congratulations, you
even
know
know.
who you are. I hope.
Yeah,
Or you just saying a random jumble of names and
I
that's
mean,
weird.
Jacob's a cool dude though. Jacob, he's from over at Mike. Hey, yeah, I'm here. W Pot Live.
Stank Bud in the house.
I'm here, Stank Bud. I apologize to everyone that was listening earlier. Well, not listening earlier. I was live for about 3 minutes, and my shit wasn't working because I was on my laptop, and for some reason, Linux must have disabled my microphone. I love the amount of security they take, but I also
Like,
dislike
there
it.
was not even video of you. Like, I couldn't even
No,
see you. It was just
but
loading.
what's weird is on my end, it said my microphone was working and it said that I could see myself and everything, but on the actual website, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking odd, but it's technology. That's why I want to go pre recorded so we can fix all the bugs and shit
Yeah.
and,
Oh,
like,
it
just,
totally makes sense.
yeah.
And you can do that here
Because
on EVMux?
you can actually edit later on through production. I'm not going to edit. All of our shows are still going to be 100% unedited, unedited, uncensored, and uncut. But we're going to have like clips and shit.
Okay.
So I do apologize if people do come in and I don't see you because I am working on my laptop, my phone right now,
Dab
and it's a different
time.
setup. Dab time. Is it dab
That's what
30 already?
Jacob Keith is saying. I'm smoking diamonds right now, which is amazing.
Diamonds, fucking okay. I gotta tell you something. My first experience with diamonds. All right, a buddy of mine handed it to me, and it looked like it didn't look like a cannabis product. It looked kind of like crack or something.
Yeah,
Uh, and I'm like, I don't know if I
they're
want to
very
smoke
white.
this. Yeah, I don't know if I want to smoke this. But I tried THC diamonds, and I must state that my buddy told me he's like these are potent, so be careful. But I heard potent, but I didn't hear the be careful.
Okay.
Um, and I smoked some of it. I put it in like a vape thing. Um, and look who's joining us. Lee Hacker joined us. We can't see your camera yet, buddy, but there you are. I'm
Lee
gonna bring Lee Hacker on.
Hacker.
We can all talk about this. We can add him to the scene here. What up, Lee?
What's going on, y'all? Can you hear me okay?
No, yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you all right. I had a bit of a rough start, dude. We went live for about 3 minutes and nobody could see or hear me. I could see and hear myself. It said that everything was working, but it must be something with Linux because I just downloaded it. I got to figure all that shit out.
Yep,
So
I was
he
in the
kept
audience.
telling me to fix shit.
Yeah,
I was in the audience watching you with the dead camera.
yeah.
And
I mean, that's probably the best episode we've done.
You know, I was thinking, like, you're great when you're silent. Like,
Oh, thanks.
oh
That's
wow,
you're
fucking.
welcome.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
You're like, I hate you.
No, I love you. How are you doing,
Aw.
Lee?
I'm doing good.
This man's. For those not familiar, Lee's a crazy motherfucker. He's got OnlyFans. Go check him out. I mean, he's what some of it's well hung material, and some of it's dusty and dirty. And
I'm old
did you get
man.
any
Yes.
subscribers?
Yeah, I've got like a few.
I
That's
subscribed.
cool, dude. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It's actually the best one out there.
I appreciate it. I do.
You're good, man. You're good at what you do. People are going to be
Pink,
listening to this and saying, "I don't know if I want to subscribe."
Pink, can you confirm that I'm well hung on my OnlyFans?
Oh, definitely.
See?
Absolutely.
Bro, I love what you do over there, and
I,
I'm not gonna lie. Since we're talking about it, I've always thought about starting an OnlyFans because
Yeah,
there's money to be made over there, man.
there is money to be made. I'm just not making any. If anything, people would volunteer to pay me to put clothes on.
That would be a great one. Like
Yeah,
go live and just people.
cause you 10 to see me without it or see me with it.
I mean, I already post pictures of me shirtless and shit. What's gonna be the difference? Like, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why sex is so taboo.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me either.
We're born naked. We're supposed to be fucking. Like, why is it so taboo?
We're supposed to be fucking.
Not us, not like us in this room, but like I mean, like
No,
humans.
but yeah, just like in general, like
In general, that's
Yeah,
great.
like we were born to eat, sleep, fuck, shit, and piss. That's what we were born to do.
Correct. Correct.
Why ain't eating and drinking and fucking sleeping taboo? What the fuck? Like it
It
makes
is for some
no.
people.
It
They get
is
lazy. Some people get called fat.
true, true, and it's crazy because a lot of people are like, watch what you eat and stuff, but sometimes it's like genetics, man. Like bad
yeah.
thyroid and shit.
I was gonna say health stuff, like health issues cause weight gain and
Now you can easily say though that some of the health problems has a lot to do with how they poison our food and shit.
yeah.
True.
Like it can cause that because it's been proven that certain pesticides cause thyroid disease.
Okay.
But not in everyone. It's a genetic thing. Like certain genes. That's kind of like Ozzy Osbourne, for instance. He survived a lot, and they wondered why, and they checked his genetics, and he's part Neanderthal,
Huh.
which means like he can take some abuse, a lot
That's
of
nuts.
abuse.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's fucking nuts, dude. And also, this man, he he when he came out. No, I'm not picking on him or nothing. I'm just saying, like, this is what the consensus was when Ozzy came out and said that he had Parkinson's. The whole world all thought, with the life he lived, that's all he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like that man has it made if that's his only problem.
Ain't that
Yeah.
ain't that
Like
the
he's
truth?
done he's done enough drugs to kill an entire generation, and here he fucking is,
yeah.
alive and goddamn well. So what have you got you're working on, Lee?
What am I working on? Is that what you just asked?
Yeah, what are you working on in life? What's your upcoming projects? I want you to promote yourself. That's why I'm doing this.
Let's see. Monday morning, I will be the first DJ to go live on a new radio station, internet radio station called WPOT, Wicked
WP.
Talk Radio, and I'll be doing a breakfast show from 8 to 10 a.m. And I'm encouraging anyone that wants to join our Discord for WPOT and be live in the audience while I'm on the radio. And if we get onto a topic that sounds like something you'd be interested in talking about, I'll bring you on to the station, bring you into the studio, and have you talk about it on the radio. And we'll see how things go. And if not, I got tons of music I can play.
Now, is this going to be every Monday, or are you doing it Monday through Friday, or how are you doing this?
Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Where can we find this on wpot.live?
It is WPOT.live, yes. Or you can go to, which is www.wpot.live, or you can go to 420campfire.com. Both websites have the player you can listen to the radio station for now.
Oh, sweet. I had the link for that. I didn't have it for 420 Campfire because I knew you were going to promote that, but I didn't
Yep,
realize it
it's
was
all good.
available on your
It's all
site too.
good. I'm always promoting Campfire, though. Always promoting Campfire. For those of you who don't know, 420
All right.
Campfire is a group that we turned into a nonprofit, and we help raise money for homeless vets to get homeless vets off the streets. This year, all of our money that we raise will go to a homeless vet organization in Louisiana, that not only gets the vets off the streets, but they specialize in getting family. So the whole family, if mom and dad's out of work, got problems, stuff like that, and they got the kids in the car with them, we'll do our best to try and help them get off the street.
I love that, man. I really do love that because we have a big
Yeah.
uh, we don't treat our vets right, and they pretty much risk their lives for a government that don't give a damn about them, and that's sad.
Pretty much, pretty much, pretty much.
And like we have a big problem with not just homeless vets, but homeless people in general, man. Like our economy's so fucked when it comes to that kind of shit. Like I'm glad you're doing something.
I am too. I'm glad to be brought in.
Like I don't I don't get why or how we have this big of a homeless problem when we've got so many goddamn billionaires with billions of dollars they don't even use.
Yeah. Mm.
Like we can easily take that money and help people. Like
True.
that's why our money ain't worth a damn. All these people are hoarding money
How would we take that money from them?
by force. Because we should have a tax bracket where if you make so much money, you get taxed more than the average person.
Right.
Yeah.
There should be. And there is to a point. Once it's over X amount of dollars, they get taxed the same no matter how much more they get. And it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly.
Should
Well,
not be that way.
I heard this theory, and I don't know if I agree with it, but I kind of do. Where there should be a tax cap, there should be a cap on how much you can make in this country, and then anything after that goes directly back into the economy.
Okay.
Like set the cap to like 10 million or whatever they want to set it to, and anything after that goes right back into the economy anyway. Because if you can't survive on $10 million, you got a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
got a problem we don't even want to discuss. Like that's some. But that's what's happening though. Is a lot of these millionaires and shit are hiding their money in offshore banks and shit, and we should
Yep.
use that money to home the vets and home anyone really.
Yeah.
Like
Pink, is
I
Mike
don't know.
cutting out for you at all?
I'm sorry. What?
I was asking Pink if you were cutting out for her at all.
Not
Um,
really.
Okay. Must be on my end. My bad.
it's
Oh,
weird
let's
because
see.
I was using my laptop, but like I said, with this Linux shit, I think it just I need to change my settings.
Yeah, that's all it probably is.
Yeah, it's something new. I need to get a hold of some people and get it fixed. So you guys, you live what, Lee? 4 hours?
Something like that. Yeah, I'm down in Cincinnati.
So one of these days you should make your way out this way and go to one of the OVDJ events because OVDJ puts on a lot of great DJing events.
Yeah.
We have coming up. We have the 16th Lovey Bubby, which is in Wheeling, West Virginia, which is a bit of a drive for you. The one that I would love for all of you guys to come to, I would like to get WPOT to show up, is the Camp Out. It is a 2-day event. It is September 13th through 14th. It's in Jacobsburg, Ohio. That's the event that Muck Sticky played at last year, and they have a
Gotcha.
lot of DJs. And it's an incredible event. They haven't announced the lineup for it this year yet. But if you're in the area, February 16th, Lovey Bubby, it is a Valentine's Day show. It is in Wheeling, West Virginia at the Waterfront Hall. And then on March 17th, we have St. Patrick's Day, which is at Morgantown Art Bar. And then we have April 20th, Spring Smokeout, LA Pizza in Adena, Ohio. And we have the Summer Fest, July 13th. Sorry, I couldn't read the date. July 13th, Summerfest. And it's at the same location as the Camp Out. So we got a
Nice.
lot of cool shit coming up. And also, Pink Sock Podcast is going to be on WPOT Live once it launches.
Nice.
So we have a lot of great collaborative efforts coming up. And I would like to collab with you one of these days, Lee, and help you get more donations.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really awesome. Like I
Like,
said, I'm always listening for 420 Campfire.
I love it. How long have you been doing 420 Campfire?
We celebrate our third year March 17th.
Damn, dude, you've been doing it for a while.
Yes, I have. Yep. 3 years, March 17th is our anniversary. I like that play on words, anniversary.
The Canniversary.
Yep.
What was your website again for?
420 campfire, all one word.com. The number 420, the word
Okay.
campfire, all together.com. You
Okay,
can make a
I got it. I got it up. I bookmarked it.
Yep, you can make a donation there. You can go to the shop, make a purchase. 100% of the proceeds goes to the nonprofit. None of us make any money. We are all volunteers for this nonprofit.
I love it, dude. Like, I'm all for a good cause and someone that's willing to donate their time and their money to these kind of things. And I really do like your merch because I'm looking at some of the stuff that people can buy. And you got a nice shirt option, and you also have a tumbler hookah lid, which I think is cool as fuck. That is cool, bro. Fucking love it. Like I'm
But
all for good
yep.
fucking weed, man.
I actually just broke out this bong last night for the first time in 9 months.
Dude, I got this sweet ass fucking. I can't find it right now. It's in one of my pockets, but it's a dry herb vaporizer,
Uh-huh.
and you can actually put it. They have the top, so it's designed where you can put it on where the stem goes on a bong, and you can just smoke it that way.
Nice.
So you can have a
Nice.
dry herb bong, pretty much. Like it's very universal. It's pretty cool. I'm not sponsored by them, but go check them out. They are puri5.com. Puri, the number 5.com.
You ever use one of these?
What
Oh
is
yeah,
it?
the Luca Seahorse.
Yeah, it's Lucas Seahorse Pro. It's better than the horse, but yeah. Yep, they
Dude,
have
I
a
love it.
hose that goes on the mouthpiece of that goes into your bong so you can do dabs, electric dabs through your bong.
Oh.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I had one. I think it might have been the Pro because it had the cord thing, but I never really looked to see what it was for. But that's neat as fuck.
It goes from your mouth. It goes over the mouthpiece, and then you put the other end in your bong, and then you turn it on, and while you're touching the dab, you inhale through the bong, and you do rips.
Bro,
Yep.
are you able to do that with vape cartridges too, or no?
If you can get a good seal on the vape cartridge, possibly.
Okay,
But they
because I was
also
wondering.
they make a silicone puck or a silicone funnel, basically that's or cone that has a slit in the top that you can put your vape mouthpiece in, and it
Hmm.
goes in your bong, and you push the button, and you suck through the bong, and it should suck the vape through the bong into your mouth out of your pen.
No, no, that's fucking rad.
Yeah, you can pick them up in most smoke shops.
That's cool because I really liked the Seahorse because of its real big compatibility. Because you can not only vape with it, like the cartridges, you can also dab with it. You can use
Yep.
it with bongs. I'm wondering if they're planning on coming out with a dry herb vape attachment.
I don't know if they are or not. Honestly, I've bought.
That'd be cool.
I've got two products I bought from them. One of them is the Lucas Seahorse Pro. The other one is the Luca Bear. Have you heard of
What's a Luca
this?
Bear?
The Luca
No.
Bear is a silicone bear that looks almost like a Grateful Dead bear. But what's inside of it is the battery, and the nose is the power. So you take a cartridge, you screw it on top of the bear's head, and you push his nose, and you suck through the cart. It's called a Luca Seahorse or Luca Bear. L
That's
O O
rad.
A H or LOKAH. Luca Bear. You should look it up real quick.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm actually on Luca's website, so I'll just look up bear. They do have a dry herb vaporizer, by the way. Oh, the
Nice.
bear's cool as fuck, dude.
My wife has one of
Is
those. I bought it for her last year when they came out.
Let's see if I can switch my camera. I might not be able to. I'm not, but I'm gonna try to do it this way. That thing?
You can't see. There it is. Yeah. Yep, that's the bear, and the cart goes on top of his head. Take it out of his
That's
head. You
cool as fuck.
That's your power button, and the battery charge lasts pretty long too.
See, I'm very iffy though about the vapes because my cousin, and I know my not my cousin, my nephew, he got a hold of a bad batch of vapes. I don't know if it was street though. It could have been. It could very well have been. but he was smoking the vape for a few months, and he ended up with a collapsed lung
Jesus.
due to the vape cartridges that he was getting. But it could have been street. It might not have been dispensary. It might have been a different state. So I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to blame the vape cartridges. But I've heard of that happening with early models of them because there was something to do with the metal shavings kept coming off on the thread and going
Coils.
into people's lungs.
Yeah, particles of the coils in the early days of vaping were making people sick.
Yeah.
They didn't realize it.
Yeah, it was causing collapsed lung and popcorn lung and shit.
Popcorn lungs, what I heard most of. Yeah,
Yeah, my nephew, he actually just went to the hospital again because of it, but he wasn't vaping anymore. It's just the damage had been done. And they told him there's nothing we can do until your lung collapses again. And I'm like, what the fuck? Just fix it while you can, man. Don't wait.
yeah. Jeez, oh peaks. Jeez, oh peaks.
Like I'm like, you can get this thing from Luca. It's called It's called ice cream, and it's a dry herb vaporizer.
Nice.
Um, it's very interesting because it looks. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of dry herb vaping. I don't mind doing dabs, which is vaping. I don't mind vape carts. They're not my favorite. I prefer just straight flower, man, with flame to it.
I get it, but I switched to dry herb vaping, and actually certain ones for me anyway are better than others. And the reason why I prefer it is because I already have not severe lung problems, but I was born with asthma, and I just don't want to risk my lungs getting worse. And I've vaped and smoked a lot in my life, so I'm just trying to lay back on it.
Yeah,
And vaping is better on your lungs significantly because you don't have the carcinogen from the lighter. You're not burning the bud, you're cooking it. So that's why I prefer it.
gotcha.
And you can taste the terpenes if you have the right dryer vape. But the negative about that, though, is if you're vaping on it for a while, when it starts going bad, like when it starts like going towards the end, it does taste awful.
Gotcha. Almost like
So that
popcorn,
is it.
doesn't it?
What'd you say?
It's almost like a burnt popcorn when it gets toward the end, and
Yeah, it
you're like,
tastes like burnt popcorn.
yeah, yeah,
This is the one I've been smoking on. It's called the Pura 5. I think this is the Titanic. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's Titanic. Titanic 4. It looks like a little juice box.
yeah. That's cute.
And
Very
and it's
cute.
really cute. Um I actually wanted the reason why I was shouting out Pura 5 is they are not a sponsor yet. I'm going to try to reach out to them for that once we get the ball rolling on everything that we've got working on. But
Cool.
they gave me 50% off this purchase, so I got 2 vapes for the price of 1.
Very nice.
So, and they're
Very
an amazing company. And I'm not just saying that because they gave me the deal. I've been supporting them for a while now.
That's cool.
Um, but I would never reach out or accept a sponsor for a product that I haven't tried and don't believe in.
Yep, I'm the same way.
I really hate those people that are like, try this kit and blah, 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 and you go try it and it sucks and they're just doing it because the money's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, nah,
That's not your
nah,
style, obviously. Like,
that's not. It's really not. And now that Pink Sock is going to be on the radio and that podcasting network you guys are doing, it might help all of us get our own individual sponsors too,
That'd be cool.
which is going to be which would be really cool. I'm really looking forward to the future, and I'm glad that you guys are bringing me on that journey. So I appreciate you, Lee.
You're on the journey with us.
Yeah,
Glad you.
man. Like, it's weird to think though in my life, man, because I'll admit I'm a bit of a fuck up. Not in like a horrible sense. Like I've never like hurt nobody in a physical sense or anything, but like I say some fucked up shit sometimes. My sense of humor is a little crazy, but I'm learning that that's what some people like, man. It's
Yeah,
we need. I think we need obscurity in the world again. I think all this people tiptoeing around feelings and ruining comedy, man.
yeah,
Because like I get it, like people don't want to hear certain things, or people don't want certain people to joke about certain things. But at the end of the day, like that's kind of killing comedy.
yeah. I get it.
Because if we can't
Makes sad.
laugh, like if we can't laugh, because it used to be the day back in when I was a kid, I used to see like a fucked up tragedy, and I used to wait for the next George Carlin special. Not because I thought the tragedy was funny, I just needed laughter in my life based around that so that I'm not feeling as depressed.
Yeah.
Because you can find comedy in trauma.
You can.
Yeah.
It's just, in the words of George Carlin, it is not a joke that's good or bad. It's the context.
Yep.
It's where you're coming from.
When I
George
was
Carlin.
in, oh, I'm
What?
sorry.
Go ahead, dear.
I was gonna say when I was in high school, dead baby jokes
That
were
was big.
all the
It's huge.
rage.
When I was in high school, that was huge.
They were huge. Like,
Well, I was
I
talking to
mean,
people, and I'm like, is it just me, or like before 2002, before 2010? Because that's the year I graduated. I know Lee's older than me, and he probably experienced more fucked up conversations. But it seemed like before 2010, the world wasn't as offended easily. They was able to joke and say fucked up shit. Like in my school, we'd say fucked up shit all the time and just laugh about it. And the people that
yeah,
we were making fun of was laughing with us. It wasn't really making fun of, it was just all of us having fun roasting each other. And then when I
yeah, they
graduated,
were so exactly.
it seemed like everybody on TV and everybody online got offended easily. Do you think that's social media, or do you just think that we are more open to seeing the rest of the world and how they react than we was back in the day?
I think people change. I think
Because
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's the way like the parents are,
yeah,
that
right?
too.
And
Be- be-
then
I mean, where I'm getting at though is back in the day, we used to just get newspapers and we used to just talk to the people that are around us. Really, I didn't get a Facebook until 2009. Uh, and I had MySpace in 2006, but all we really talked to was people around us and maybe a celebrity if they were active
yeah,
on MySpace. Now
right.
we're more susceptible to more people, more types of people. So maybe people were as offended in big groups, but we just didn't hear about it.
Could be.
We're hearing about it more now that, like, for instance, in some of the cancel culture I do agree with, some I don't. Like if somebody assaulted another person or did something that is very demonizing, then yes, by all means they shouldn't be in the public eye and they shouldn't be spreading their message. But at the end of the day, free speech, but still, they shouldn't be spreading that kind of shit if they're a fucked up person. But to play the devil's advocate, it's also up to us, the consumer. It's not up to them not to show the shit. It's up to us, the consumer, to choose what we do and do not watch.
I get it. You're right.
Because there's a
You're
lot of people that have been canceled for shit I don't think they should have been canceled for.
this whole cancel. Man, what am I trying to say? This whole cancel
Cancel
cult
culture.
doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. But I'm also old school. You
Yeah,
know.
like me too, in a way. Like, I get, like, for instance, like the Bill Cosby thing. I get why he was canceled because it was a fucked up thing that he did. So, like,
Yes.
but I don't think he was canceled though. It's just people refuse to work with him.
Yes. But maybe
Um,
that was cancel culture back then. Just by refusing to work with him or refusing to buy his stuff, refusing to watch his
yeah,
show, play his DVDs, whatever it is. Maybe
that's
that's the way
all
it
can.
did
Yeah,
as
that's the way it should be.
without realizing it. Until someone said, well, here, his group of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, we should just tell him flat out he's done and nobody buy any more of his stuff. And everyone goes around and tell everybody don't buy any more of this guy's stuff.
See,
Yeah.
that did exist back in the day, though, Lee. Because if you think about it, remember Lenny Bruce?
Ooh,
Lenny Bruce. I would go as far as to venture to say that he was the first comedian that was really canceled, but he wasn't. He was a very offensive comedian in like the 60s and 70s, like very offensive for the time.
okay.
And no network would play his shit. Like he was very popular in bars and shit. And he'd sell out everywhere he went. He was an underground icon. But no, even though his fame where it was, he was canceled. He wasn't on daytime television very often. He
No.
didn't have shit on TV. He was like a touring comedian, but he wasn't advertised. He was a word of
So
mouth comedian.
we didn't have cancel culture back then. We had blackballed. He was
Yeah,
blackballed
blackball.
in the industry.
That's pretty
And
much the same thing, though, wouldn't it be?
that's the same thing. So I guess we did have cancel culture. We just didn't call it that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different wording.
Yeah. I
But
just realized
it's
it was so far away. Sorry.
you're good. It's really weird though if you think about it though. We keep saying society is changing, but in a way, we're just changing the wording of shit.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
Things
true.
aren't changing. You just change the wording. There was no cancel culture, but there's blackballing culture back in the day.
There
There's
was a culture back in the day. There was.
like, like absolutely.
I think I
But
think things are changing in a way though because people seem to be more comfortable being themselves
but
and
also we're not because we're afraid to offend people as comics. Like people that have an offensive sense of humor are afraid to say shit. Like it seems like we're at a part in society. I'm not trying to cut you off, Pink. I'm just trying to add to what you were saying. In a
yeah.
way, we need to find a great medium level where we accept everyone, we love everyone, everyone has rights, but we should be able to joke about our own shit.
It definitely should be able to joke about our own shit.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and like we should be able to make fun of society. Like we're not making fun of people for believing what they believe in, but we should be able to laugh at ourselves.
True. I agree with you.
That's like if that's like if somebody makes fun of one of my beliefs or my thoughts, I just laugh it off and I joke about it too. Because we should be able to. Because life is obscure, man. That's like a friend of mine, and they really enjoyed the joke, but somebody outside of the group got offended, and I'm like, now I don't understand being offended for somebody else. I've never understood that. Like me and this friend were joking about this thing. They laughed. I laughed. It was funny. Why are you offended? You're not even in the conversation. But that's but that's besides the point. We was hanging out, and my friend, and I'm very proud of them for admitting what they believe and stuff. But my friend was back in the day; it wasn't as acceptable. But he transitioned and is a transsexual and is a male, and I'm very proud of him. But one day I was hanging out, and he walked up to me, and this was when the Nintendo Switch first came out. And he was like, "I got the new Switch," and I'm like, "Homie, I thought you got that years ago."
That's great.
We all we all laughed, and one person got offended that don't even know us.
Yeah.
Within friends,
Well,
with amongst yourselves, that's a great joke. Now,
yeah,
could other people hearing that get offended? I get it,
yeah,
but you can't be offended for the person that you're making the joke with because they were laughing about it themselves. They weren't upset.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like let's say, because this has happened to me before amongst friends, and I'm not calling them out or nothing if they're listening. I'm just saying that I applaud them for handling it in an appropriate way. I told a joke at one of my stand-up events, and one of my friends took offense to it. Well, they did confront me about it. However, the way they confronted me said, "Listen, I know you're a comedian. It's my own fault for being offended, but I just wanted you to know that I didn't like that joke." And I said, I apologize that you feel that way, but I'm not going to stop my comedy.
So,
Yeah.
just so you know, being the
Yeah.
older generation, I wouldn't have came up to you and told you shit. I'd been
No,
like, "Hey,
because if you're,
dude, if it was on me to be offended and it's my fault that I got offended, why would I even
yeah.
tell you about it? I'd be
Well, like
embarrassed almost.
I get where she was coming from though.
I don't.
But yeah, I'm the same way. Like I will tell someone, hey, I'm not cool with that topic, but then I'll just brush it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's not up to a comic, like we've said multiple times. It's not up to the comic to tiptoe around offense. Actually, if anything, I believe a comic's job is to tackle the obscure and the offensive.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, but I mean, I do have one topic that I don't like as a joke, and unfortunately, when guys are around hanging out, and especially in the chat rooms and stuff, and some girls, same thing. We get on this
Mhm.
topic. I have to remind them, hey, I'm not a fan of this topic. Can we change? And it's the only thing I
Yeah.
have an issue with. And it's Viagra jokes. I had an uncle that was addicted to Viagra, and nobody took it harder than my aunt.
Fucking love that, bro. I love hanging out with you, Lee, because you have the best dad jokes.
Yeah, he does.
Thank you.
But that's the thing though, is as adults, like if it's a comic on stage and you get offended, then yeah, you just brush it off. But if it's in a conversation and there's jokes being thrown around, as a friend, you can say, "Hey, I just not comfortable with this topic, and we can change it." I hate when people get pissed off and they're like, "Oh," and they throw a hissy fit over the topic instead of like respectfully communicating.
Correct.
And there are
Correct.
times where I'll admit I'll forget that person's not comfortable with the topic and I'll bring it up. And I'm not doing it to be a dick. It's just I know so many people. Just remind me. Because if I ain't seen you in a few days, I'm not going to remember that you don't like so and so topic. I got to remember all kinds of people's shit.
Mm.
But
Yep.
like, I don't
Be
know.
like,
It's
I
weird.
have my jokes. I'm not changing them for you.
Well,
Yeah.
what's weird is,
Which it's
I don't know.
perfect. Like, that's the perfect way to be. Like,
I hate being that way though because like I hate upsetting friends is my thing, and I need to get to the point where I shouldn't care.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, how
like
many
this is
people
your
can you
job.
name? How
And
many comedians can you name that tiptoed around feelings and was successful?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And what's crazy is love them or hate them, there's a lot of comics out there that, if you think about it, there's a lot of comics that we all love now, but if you look back then, they were hated. But like Cheech and Chong, they were not popular when they first came out.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
They
more
were,
cult culture now where like
yeah,
people are
cultural
like
acceptance.
comfortable being stoners again.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you got to think though, when Cheech and Chong hit the scene, that was during Reefer Madness and like the beginning of the war on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
marijuana was made illegal in 1970. They came out in the mid 60s when they were starting to fight to make it illegal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like they were way ahead of their time. They made marijuana funny to laugh at. They made it like they were talking about the weird cultural views of it when that's not how it is. And Tommy Chung, even in an interview back then, said, "What if it's the cure all for all diseases and it has medicinal benefits and we're just making it illegal for no reason?" And he said that in 1968 on the
Wow.
radio.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking wild? What is up, Kayla Redmond? What is up, Paul Stubbs? It's cool that you can't be here. Guys, since we're on topics of marijuana and all that shit, I just wanted to bring this up so I don't forget. Once you guys are ready for me to start getting a hold of up and coming bands and shit like my cousin's band and stuff, let me know so that we can have their music to play on the radio.
That's
I
cool.
can have them send the MP4s. I don't know if you need contracts. I don't know any of that shit, but just send me everything that you need from them, and I will send whatever you need from me and them. Because I want us to have not just national acts, but I would love to spread the word of up and coming acts, and I know a lot of them.
Gotcha.
Um, Also, I got to get a hold of during one of our meetings. I'm not going to talk too much business on here, but during one of our meetings we do, I would like to give you guys emails to various PR companies that just send mass emails of like bands and shit that want to be played on the radio or want to be interviewed.
Okay. That'd be cool.
And then we can like cross talk about who's interviewing who, because sometimes I have them on Pink Sock, sometimes I don't. So if you guys want a certain band or whatever, you're more than welcome.
Cool.
So for this, so that the listeners get a little bit of a taste of what you guys, and I guess me too, because I'm a producer of one show, and I'm helping you guys write some shit and come up with ideas. What is the plan for WPOT Live? Like, what are we doing so that the listeners know?
Let's see. We are a radio station for stoners. We are advocates for autonomy, and we believe that people should have the right to smoke weed on their own if they want. Um, they should have the right to do other things too. And we just believe that. So that's kind of our motto with the station and what we believe in. We will have different shows. I have a breakfast show, a wake and bake kind of show from 8 to 10 a.m. And during that time, I'll be playing, kind of the more popular songs.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have following me from 10 until noon. You have DJ Spam Risk, and with hang on, I got to cheat.
Spam
I do
Risk is amazing. She does a lot of shit.
with Mood
Yeah.
Swings. Couldn't remember the name of her show for a second. Mood Swings, where psychedelic rock meets meditation.
Well, I like that.
Yep. And then
I
after that,
actually, I used to meditate to psychedelic music, so I like that.
cool. After
Go ahead and
that, from
continue. I'm sorry.
from and that's from 10 to noon. From noon to 2, we have the high tech with the high techs, and that is going to be a technology talk show where they're going to play techno music and answer any tech questions you might have about computers and stuff. So that's a great place to learn more about tech. No, from 2 until 4, here in the near future, we'll have Becca Beats, where Becca will be playing her style of music that she loves. And then we got from 4 to 6. You got me back again with Buds and Beats Rewind, the best of the '80s and '90s and early 2000s.
I
And
like it.
then from 6 until 8, I am co-hosting with a friend of mine named Dana for Two Strains, and we're gonna be talking about weed, talking about food, talking about weed, talking about food, life, mostly weed and food though, probably.
I can tell by you said weed and food like 3 times.
And then after our show ends at 8, then you have Envy that comes on with the Devil's Lettuce, and he plays more of a heavy rock show from 8 to midnight, and then we go off the air from midnight till 8 a.m. Well, we're not
So
off
I
the
have
air technically. We have a computer that plays music for us from midnight to 8 a.m. So there's always music available to listen to on the website. Um, but the actual DJs are only on from 8 a.m. to midnight
so for the
ish.
podcasting side of things, because I know that we are working on a podcasting network, that's
We
going
are
to
working.
be operating separate.
That will be operating separate. Some of them will be aired on the radio station. Some of the weekend podcasts will be aired on the radio station. But during
Hmm.
the week, not too many of the podcasts will be aired on the station. But we will have our own channel, and you'll be able to watch that on the app that we're having developed and everything. We'll have
That's
our own
cool as
YouTube
shit.
channel and on an app. Yeah.
Dude, I
And
fucking love what you guys have planned.
I'll tell you what, let me get you a little excited because I'm very excited. We have an app coming out for our station alone. Okay,
Woo!
where you'll be able to download this app and listen to our station. But what we're
Hmm.
having put in the app is text, so you can chat with either the DJ that's on the air or with each other. Say you and Pink and me are in the chat one day listening to DJ Spam Risk. Hey,
Hmm.
Spammers, can you play such a song? Or, hey, Mike, what do you think of that last song that got played? Or, hey, man, what are you doing later on today? Whatever it is, we're going to be able to communicate with each other. That
That's
to
cool
me,
as fuck.
that will be the first music app that allows listeners from all over the world at the same time to communicate via text or chat.
So in the app, are you going to be able to choose whether or not you are watching? Because you said on weekends there's going to be a live podcast feed. Is it going to be
Correct.
set up similar to that, or is it just going to be part of the radio?
There's going to be a radio and a TV side of the app, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken. So you can listen to the
that's
radio
cool.
during the week, or you can watch podcasts during the week also because the TV station will have daily podcasts, hourly podcasts, stuff like that.
I do have something that we should add though.
What's that?
We should have a subscribed option where people like pay whatever to subscribe, and they get the library of podcasts, and they can just watch whatever episode, whenever they want. Or for the free version, you can just watch whatever we're airing live, like whatever we're airing live, like whatever episodes we choose at
Yep,
that hour.
it's a great idea. That is a great idea.
Like have the podcast side like a TV and have it air 24/7,
Yep.
and then
Have the
whatever.
subscription side be more like a
Yeah,
Netflix where you can go back and you can watch the episodes you may have missed.
yeah, you can pick whatever podcast and then whatever season and episode, or whatever episode if they don't do seasons, because not all podcasts do seasons.
Well, hopefully our tech gurus are listening right now, which I think one of them is, and they're making notes of that idea so we can see if it's possible.
I'm the idea man. That's what I do.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Gotcha.
like I'm very excited for WPOT Live because we've been all having great meetings and stuff, and it's a very good collaborative effort. Um, and that's what I'm all about. I'm all about helping people, and it also helps yourself too. People don't realize that if you collaborate, you're not just helping yourself; you're helping other people.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of people that you guys know that I don't, and vice versa.
Uh huh. Yep.
And
It'll get your
and I've
face
never
out
understood.
there, get your name out there in front of my people. It'll get my
Yeah.
face, my name out there in front of your people. It's
Hmm.
all about what is that called? Not marketing. Give me a second. I'm like, what is LinkedIn? Networking.
Uh,
Networking.
networking.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
It's
That's what I'm looking for.
all about.
Networking.
By the way, guys, I would like to, once I get the money, I'd like to get the address of some of you guys because I would like to send you guys a stack of my business cards. And then if you can send me WPOT Live business cards, and we can just start handing out business cards.
When we get
Because
business cards, I'll make sure that we send them to you. Each
okay,
of
because
us.
when I go to concerts and events and shit, because I'm going to get a camera soon, I'm probably going to start doing concert photography again.
Oh, cool.
I can actually hand them out at concerts and shit. Because with us doing WPOT, and I also shout out to Audio Vein Entertainment, I'm still doing reviews through them occasionally. I can go to these concerts and shit because I have a history of doing concert interviews and shit. I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. Lee does. I used to do media. I used to interview bands and all that shit before Pink Sock, and that's kind of how I got into this.
I could
I
see
would,
that.
yeah,
I
like
could.
I would interview up and coming artists, but I would do it through Audio Vein, and I decided to do my own thing. And right now, I'm trying to get a hold of either Audio Vein or somebody else because I would like to have my interviews do marketing where it's like Pink Sock and the other network and air it on, put it on their website as well as mine,
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
and cross marketing like that so that so I'm not overwhelming myself. So I'm not choosing am I interviewing this artist with Pink Sock or with them? Like just have it be both.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True.
And I think that's cool because I'm going to do that with you guys too. Like I'll be doing interviews. I'm like, oh, this interview is brought to you by WPOT Live. This interview is through them and through me, or something like that. Come up with some kind of an introduction, because that's the thing. A lot of podcasts I don't see doing. I see them doing the interviews under just themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're big, you can do that. You can get any interview you want. But if you're marketing and shit, you're opening up your array to people that want to just be on that network. And vice versa. Like I can just bring Pink Sock to another to like let's say for instance like there's a media company that wants me to interview for them. I can easily just be like, hey, I'll just do the interview there and make it an exclusive for them. Like I don't understand. I get it because some people are like, well, I will make more money being independent, but you're also not helping much. Because like the interviews, yeah, you're helping the guest get their name out there, but you can also help networks get their name out there.
Correct.
So yeah,
Correct.
like I'm all about partnering, bro. So, what is mod of the month? I'm looking at your 420 campfire.
So, like I said, everyone at 420 Campfire is a volunteer. And
Yeah.
our mods are the ones that run our Facebook page, whether they be the ones that approve posts, approve new members, check the page to make sure that we don't have people harassing other people.
Hmm.
Um, and then we have managers who oversee the mods and manage the pages for us with them. And then we have admins, which are the round table, which are the four people that are also the board for the nonprofit, which is Mike, aka who is the president. You got me, who is vice president. You have Kay Jones, who is secretary, and you have April Dudd, who is the treasurer. But our mod of the month are the ones that we reward for either doing really good at being a mod, like hosting rooms. We have live video chat rooms like this, like Discord. But we have mods that sit in those rooms. They host them to make sure people follow rules. Because we have certain rules when you join Campfire. We ask you, we don't post anything about alcohol because we're a stoner group. We don't talk about hard drugs because again, weed and mushrooms are about as hard as any of us want to talk about and want to encourage other people to try. We don't talk about religion. We don't talk about politics. And those mods sit in those rooms all day, and they call Campfire, which is virtual time to take a toke together, and they make sure that people follow the rules. And when mods do really good, they get their picture on the website along with their little mod of the month thing. But they also get a discount at the store, which they really like to take advantage of. Speaking of the
That's
store,
fucking cool.
everything in our store is 10% off right now until the 20th of this month with the code or coupon code Spirit Day. 2 words, Spirit Day. Everything in the store is 10% off. So if you saw one of them shirts you might like, now it's time to grab it.
Dude, I fucking like it. I'm gonna have to get me a shirt. I'm gonna have to get me a 420 Campfire shirt. By the way, we are working on. I'm sorry to interrupt your promotional thing. It's just shit that I thought of.
All right.
I currently have merch as well. If you guys would like to pick you up a Mike Usenick shirt, we have a few of them. Different ones you can choose from through Jules Wells. I have it all on my Facebook page, and also we're working on pink sock shirts. So
Nice. Nice.
we need like there's websites you can get shirts through, but like it seems like it's just way too like they take more money than they should.
That is true. That is true. But most of those places also host your store for you,
True,
which is a little
true.
added benefit. Worth paying a little extra money so that I don't have to worry about the store all the time. Handling the purchase orders and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
like I get it. I get it. Like it's fair. I totally understand that, but what sucks is due to them taking so much out, the minimum price of shit is like way too expensive for the normal consumer.
correct. I get it.
Like it's a double-edged sword.
When I started selling merch because of TikTok, um, I went through my niece who does screen printing in her house, and she had a website, and she made me a branch off her website, and she would make shirts. I mean, we were selling cheap, like $12.50 a shirt, cheap,
Hmm.
$20 a shirt, cheap. It was just cheaper to go that route. But I was lucky, like I said, I had a niece that could do that. I got the family hookup.
See, with Jules, like she does all the calligraphy merch and shit. I'm just trying to find a way so that we can maybe even a website where like people can just order online and we can just see the order and then she can ship it.
Yeah, you have it.
But
You just gotta find a website designer that can do that for you.
that's what I was probably going to do. Probably go through Wix or something. I just need to get my funds right because I need to figure out how much I'm going to be spending using my business name, and I need to start making money doing it. And that's the problem. That's why I'm not doing all that because I need to find a way to start not making money for myself, but so that I can afford the shit I need to
Yep,
stay operational.
I get it. I get it. If I was you, before you go to Wix, I would talk to our dear friend that's always in Discord and see what she thinks would be a good route for you to go to build a website to be able to do that. Because it wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be hard.
It wouldn't. Katie actually made me a domain, and she said she'd build me a website. It's just I need to come up with the funds so that we can afford to build it. It's not expensive. It's just the extra money a month that I
Yep.
need to figure out.
Maintaining of it and stuff. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
because I know the domain name is like a yearly fee. It's not a monthly.
Correct.
But keeping the domain open, like the one that you create, the actual website itself, that's a monthly fee for most applications.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
For most, I think Wix was yearly. They had an option once a month, once every 3 months, once every 6 months, or a year. And
Understood.
I don't know if it's still like that though or not. But I'm going to probably I'm going to probably end this in the next like 30 minutes or so, maybe less than that. I just wanted to bring Leon and some other people if they wanted to come on, but most of my other people that was going to show up is a little busy. So I do plan on having these hangouts where anyone can show up when once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. Once I start doing pre-records,
That's cool.
so I'm gonna figure out a day of the week. And I was thinking once W Pot starts doing the live shit, like podcast and shit, I can easily just do this live once a week or once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever, where we can all hang out.
That'd be cool. It'd be really cool. So, all
Mhm.
But
right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let someone else come up here and hang out with you and take up your time like I did.
we don't have anyone else, Lee. So if you want to stay hanging, you're more than welcome. But I'm probably going to get off of here, try to figure out this volume
Yeah,
issue and the.
I gotta go check on my mom. I got some personal stuff off of social media I gotta go do. But I
You're good,
appreciate
man.
that on here and promote WPOT Wicked Pot
It's
Radio.
always a pleasure.
Pink, as always, love seeing your face.
I,
So
I, I
thank
love I love you, Lee, and send your mom all my love. I hope everything's going all right with you guys. And if
we'll
not,
do.
I hope they get better.
We'll do that. All right, now I gotta figure out how to get out of here.
All you gotta do is X out of the bar. That's all.
That'll work. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll see you. Much love.
All right. Much
Bye.
love, man. I might have to take him down though because that's just how this shit works.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go. But hey, Pink, is there anything you would like to promote? Are you DJing over at W Pot, or are you just a behind the scenes woman, or what's going on over
I'm DJing a little bit on the weekend. So starting next Saturday, I will be doing 2 to 4.
there? Oh,
Um,
nice.
and it will be a mix of either the year 2000 kind of music, or oldies, like like classic oldies, like from the 60s and 70s.
So I'm gonna enjoy that. But have you ever listened to oldies, like 1940s music and 1930s and 20s? Do you listen to that kind of music?
I'm not on a regular.
I'm a weirdo because I do. I listen to all kinds of music on the regular, but like, yeah. So Pink,
Yeah.
next week we have the lovely and talented Mark C. Daniel. That episode is premiering this week. Um, However, we do have another interview, so we're probably going to do a twofer because I might release both the same day, or I might wait. Um, but we do have coming up Christopher. We're going to be
Yes.
pre-recording. We're going to be pre-recording that soon. His name is Christopher. He is a very good artist. It's very it's psychedelic, but it's also it's hard to explain his style. But he's very like psychedelic and like heavy at times, and his it's genre bending really. Like he changes it up a lot. So check it out. We have Christopher in
Like
the
that
goddamn building.
genre bending.
And if
Sounds
you want,
sexy.
it is sexy. It's fucking genre bending. It's gender bending. Wait, no, that ain't it.
Right?
That's Pink.
So Katie raises her hand.
Oh, why is
Does
she
that
raising
mean
her
she
hand?
wants to come up, like, and
Well,
talk?
if she wants to come up, she can. All she's got to do is enter that link that we have in the description. Um, and you're more than welcome to come on, Katie. You can talk about the station if you want.
I
You
had
can
my
talk about
hand
what.
raised for her for a while. A little high.
So, how long have you been using the name Pink, like as your nickname?
Since 2019.
Damn. We
Yeah.
started at the same time. Pink Sock Podcast started at the same time, so we probably got the nickname at the same time.
There we go. There is some kind of pink out there in the universe that is like calling us.
Is your favorite
one way
is your
and
favorite
another.
is your favorite color pink, or is it just a play on words due to your vagina? I know you said last week it was a vaginal thing. All right, look who joined just in
I
time for us.
do
Hold
enjoy
on,
pink.
look who just joined us in time to talk about Pink's vagina. What is up, dear?
I knew it.
Would you like to elaborate on W. Potters or anything that you wanted to talk about, Katie, while you're here?
Oh, I think we covered most of it. We're building an app, actually.
Yes.
So we didn't cover that, but there is an application coming. You'll be able to install the web app on iOS, Android, all the
Lee
things.
did mention that. He just didn't go too far into detail about it.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the app is going to be, you're going to be able to switch between radio or TV and
Yeah,
watch,
he said
and also,
that, but I got a question.
yeah.
You did mention that. You may not have
That's
joined
really
the chat
cool.
until after that. My question is, and it's an idea that I brought up to Lee. What if we have like the podcast network, which is like live television, like we choose whatever episode's playing at what time, whatever, and have a subscribed version that's like Netflix, where you pick the podcast and what episode you want to watch.
Yeah, that is part of the plan.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely perfect.
So
So
Dungeons and Dabs.
Dungeons and Dabs.
That'll work.
Dungeons and Dabs. For Sundays. We can
No, just call it Doobies and Dabs. Call it Doobies and Dabs, so it doesn't sound anything like the original name.
Yeah, Doobies and Dabs is great.
Doobies and Dabs, yeah.
Yeah. No, Doobies and Dabbins. Dabbons. Doobies and Dabbins. So that you're dabbing.
You're getting cold here. Like, no. I would go with Dungeons and Dabs or Doobies and Dabs.
Doobies and Dabs actually sounds better. It has a better ring to it.
Yeah.
See, not all jokes hit, man. It's fine, man. That's the art of the
At least
roast.
I'm honest about it. I'm like,
no, like I don't plan what I'm gonna say. I just say shit. So sometimes I just say verbal garbage. That's
yeah. Let's see what hits.
Yeah. Sometimes it hits like a home run, and sometimes it falls
It
in the
hits
dirt.
like a mushroom slap.
However, I learned recently that I need to start writing down all my ideas, dumb or not, because you can always turn a dumb idea into a good idea.
Or at least
you just
a
have
good
to find
joke.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
you can
delivery.
you can always turn a dumb idea into a good joke.
Yeah. Or like I keep coming up with skit ideas because I'm working on skits and shit. And I'm like coming up with these skit ideas, and I'm like, all good ideas. Even if it doesn't work for the skit you're working on, you can add it to another skit that you're doing. Like I got a lot of shit there that I'm working on. Shout out to Jag, the apostle of calligraphy and calligraphy. They did a show last night. I feel bad I missed it. I was supposed to go, but I wasn't sure about the riding situation, and I didn't have gas for my car. Well, I did, but I didn't have enough to go where it's at because the location was about 2 hours away, I think, and I just didn't feel like driving that far by myself, and I didn't have the gas money.
I got a question.
Yes, what is your question? I might have an answer.
Has anyone ever interviewed you? I know it's your show and you always interview everyone, but have you ever been interviewed?
I have done an interview with Michael Outdoors podcast. Our friend Hippie, he interviewed me a little bit on WTHC. I was interviewed for my birthday.
Okay, cool.
However, I don't think I've ever, I could be mistaken, I don't think I've ever sat down and told my life story.
Oh.
Because there's some trauma in my life that I'm very open about, but I'm not public about. Like
Oh, yeah.
I don't have it recorded me saying it. Like I'm very open about the trauma, but I don't want the people, because a lot of the trauma is from people that are alive today, and it's not that I view them in a negative light. It's that's how they handled their trauma, and it started trauma for me. I don't want them viewed in a negative way because they are great people. They just had those moments that caused trauma to me, if that makes any sense.
Would it be possible to
Yeah.
tell your life story and skip those parts?
Huh? You froze. What'd you say, dear?
Oh, I said, would it be possible to tell your life story and skip those parts?
Well, a lot of the trauma makes me the person I am today, and I can't really talk about facing anxiety and traumas without people understanding
Trauma
where the
makes
trauma
us
is.
funny, though.
The thing with my trauma is, I'm not going to go too far into it because I'm sure Katie, she has an idea to interview me, and I'm down for an interview. I feel like I would have made it further in life at this age, and I'm not trying to hate on myself, I'm just stating facts. If I would have faced my anxiety more, and questioned it more. And a lot of that trauma comes from parts in my life where it's best to mention them in order for people to better understand me as a person.
Yeah.
But it's a weird place because if I mention my traumas, people are going to view the people that cause the traumas in a negative light when that's not what I'm trying to do.
Well, what inspired you to start Pink Sock?
What inspired me to start Pink Sock? Well, my dream for the longest time when I was a kid was to be a comic first and foremost. But stand-up comedy has always been intriguing yet terrifying for me because I can be funny, but I can't be funny on the spot. I can't be funny on the stage because I overthink it. I'm more of a conversational funny. I'm more of a skit funny. So I started watching Red Skelton that was the first comic I watched. And then I started watching Jimmy Carson with my grandma and shit like that. And I thought interview segments are great. However, I was introduced to Howard Stern when I was a teenager. And I always wanted to do that. And then society kind of changed into the podcasting style. And I'm like, I want to start a podcast like that. But I never had the courage to do it. And then me and a friend, I'm like, I have a friend support. So me and him decided to start one. And it was going to be us in a basement talking. Well, me and this friend and another friend, it was just going to be us talking in the basement doing crazy shit, talking crazy shit. Well, due to the pandemic, it had to be like this. So it switched to this. Well, we were trying to figure out a name for the podcast. And I thought one day while driving home, my friend had an album idea that had the name Pink Sock in it. So it may have been inspired by that. I'm not sure. But we were driving and I thought, Pink Sock Podcast, that has a ring to it. I'm like, fuck it, why not? Now, at that point, we had no guests. It was just us bullshitting. Well, one of the friends couldn't do it anymore, so it was just me and the other friend. Well, we started getting guests. We started interviewing people, and by that point, it was too late to change the name. So that kind of stuck with something that wasn't the same concept anymore. And I just didn't have enough people and enough courage to bring that kind of a thing here. And now that I'm starting to overcome my fears, I would like to eventually go all out and just fucking be that podcast. But it's terrifying in a way in today's society because of cancel culture, like me and Lee was talking. However, if you think about it, what deems someone canceled?
Oh, being on, it depends on whose shit list you're on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what deems somebody canceled? I think what deems a comic canceled, and this may be a touche or taboo thought, but what deems a comedian canceled? Well, let's say a bunch of people hated a joke that they told and went after them and said you shouldn't have said that, blah 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 blah. That comedian apologizes, now he's canceled. You admitted
Yeah.
that comedy is wrong. You admitted comedy is wrong. The correct approach, in my opinion, to that, and I would probably be the comic to apologize, I'll be honest, because I just hate offending people. However, I'm starting to change out of that, and I'm starting to grow out of that, where the correct response is, you know what? You got upset. You took it that way. And this is why I thought it was funny. This is where I was coming from. And let's move on.
Yeah.
The correct response, unless you said it from a way of hate and harm, then apologize. Be like, sorry, I fucked up. I said shit I shouldn't have. I was coming from a hateful place. I was in my emotions. Like, that's the time you apologize. But not if you made a lighthearted joke that somebody took wrong.
Yeah.
Like the whole Matt Rife shit.
Line is like, where is it lighthearted and then where is it controversial?
Even controversial can be lighthearted.
Mm.
If all parties that are involved,
like a heavier.
Yeah. Well, in conversation, it's harder because let's say I make an offensive joke here, like a joke towards females or whatever here, and you all laugh, I laugh, we're all in on the joke. Then we can say we're all in on the joke. People just took it wrong. But when you're a stand-up comic and you're on stage by yourself, that's when it gets terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that, everybody laughed when people took it wrong.
Oh, that's
so you got to just say, hey, I wasn't coming from a place of hate. I didn't mean it the way you took it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mean to hurt anyone with what I said, but I also was joking in a sense. Like, I don't know. If you're on the stage with a microphone and there's a light on you, should people take things you say to heart? Take it seriously? No. Especially if you're going in there knowing it's a comedian. Because the job of a comedian is to push boundaries in a funny way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever read about the history of court jesters?
No, but I know that they were sexually abused by the king and queen, I found out recently.
Oh, wow.
Not all of them, but in most cases.
In many cases, there are many court jesters who were actually the ruler's chief advisor.
I didn't know that. I know there was, I'm not saying that all the time, but sometimes the court jester did get assaulted by the king and queen. Now, I don't know how true that is. I just read that somewhere. So
that probably did happen. It was a riskier business back then because if you were offensive to the throne, you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like funny or die. Funny or die.
Is that how they came up with Funny or Die, the website?
I don't know.
It's weird because, yes, that is the original context of comedy. You upset the king and queen, you die. But then it kind of changed. And it changed into a way that's the comic's job, was to offend people or whatever. And then society took a complete 180. If you offend those in charge, you offend the society, you offend this, that, and the other, your career is dead. And it went back to the old ancient ways, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm
like
very much an advocate for the freedom of speech.
I like the approach that Netflix took. People were coming after Dave Chappelle, and they're like, you should take him off Netflix, blah, 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 blah. And Netflix is like, no. Like, we're going to continue showing Dave Chappelle stuff. You don't like it, just don't watch it.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
I love him. I love him too because I am very pro LGBTQ. I'm very pro for the rights of transsexuals, but I am not pro that they can't be made fun of. I believe everything can be made fun of. Our entire universe is very obscure. I'm not saying that we should make fun of people for being different, but why can't we laugh at ourselves?
Yeah.
If it was a trans comic that was saying the same shit Chappelle was saying, there would be no outrage.
No, exactly.
And people tend to forget what he actually said at that stand-up. They're trying to cancel him for what he said, but you didn't read the full shit. The full transcript wasn't read. At the very end of that joke, he did an entire bit about how he had a friend who was also trans who loved that joke and helped him write that joke. And she defended him, got so much hate on Twitter that she unalived herself.
Oh,
And Chappelle said, you know, your mission is fucked up when you go after your own.
yeah.
And he's like, this woman would still be here today if y'all would have just said, okay, we're offended, but whatever, and just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's super tragic.
I think the cancel culture is very fucking selfish. I don't like that joke, so nobody should.
Well, it's a toxic way of thinking,
Yeah.
if I don't,
Yeah.
if it doesn't fit into my scope of things, then it should not be. That
Yeah.
whole idea is toxic.
It's a childish mindset. I don't like it, so nobody should like it.
Yeah.
That's like childish. That's like, this is my toy. If you don't like like fuck off. Like, get the fuck out of here. That's
Yeah.
like YouTube and Facebook, and I love both platforms, but they take down shit because they might be deemed offensive. Why not just make it so that like there's a warning, like this is adult content, and then click on it, like they do now, but they still remove shit. And I'm like, don't remove it, just let people know it's adult. Put a censorship
Yeah.
over it. Like, that's the way to go about it.
I'm honestly disturbed by how much we are censored now, and the influences that AI could have on our censorship.
Now,
If you generate images using OpenAI, there are all kinds of words you're not allowed to use.
Well, what
You can't
drives
use
me
the word
nuts,
cannabis. You can't use the word psilocybin. You can't use the word weed.
I'm iffy though about being completely uncensored because here's why. You have people like Alex Jones and them that spread misinformation just to get people to hate one another.
Yeah.
And it's legit false information. And if you let people know, like, hey, this is false, like, oh, that fact checker's a lie, that news article's a lie, instead of opening their mind. So, like, it's a double edged sword. Because
Sorry,
I think people.
what's the double-edged sword there?
The double-edged sword is like, I agree with, like, people should be able to say what they want to say, but people like Alex Jones and shit, they will say open misinformation, spread lies, hate, and all that shit
Well,
just to
context
do it.
is very important. If you're committing slander, that's not the same. That's not like, just because you have the
No.
freedom to express yourself doesn't mean you can run around and commit slander and mislead people and tell lies about someone and all of that.
It's not lies about, well, he did do lies about someone, he got sued for that, but still, him and some podcasters will literally spread misinformation and claim that it's true, like news articles and shit, and it's
Yeah.
all false. And even some of them even admit that they do it for views.
I mean, religious people do that all the time.
But it's weird because I agree with full uncensorship and shit, but we should have access to real information too. People should be more open-minded to finding the facts. And what sucks is that some people go to these people for real news and then start hate groups and shit because of fake news.
What disturbs me is that there's no source of media anymore that isn't owned by an oligarch.
It's fucked up, ain't it?
Yeah.
Because like it's weird coming from me because I'm an offensive comedian. I believe anyone should be able to say what they want without being canceled, as long as. But I don't think I talked to Lee earlier, and he even said that is it really cancel culture? Because if you think about it, it's basically like blackballing back in the 70s and 80s. It's like it's just a different name. What it is a lot of the times is these people haven't been canceled. What happened is a sponsor or whatever didn't believe in the message or what they were saying and just pulled the plug. They didn't agree, which that should be okay as well.
Yeah. Always.
because it's your company. You should have the right to say, I didn't like what that person said, so I'll just distance myself. So is it really cancel culture, or are we just overreacting?
I think the whole idea of cancel culture is
It's silly.
planted to make us fight amongst each other. Well, the real
But it's existed
criminals.
this whole time.
Yeah, it has.
Because look at, like, I had people, somebody tried to tell me, and I'm not going to name the president or whatever, but somebody named when a president was president, they said that they were the most hated president in the United States. And I had to say, I disagree with you. And he's like, why? I'm like, we had 2 that were assassinated.
Sorry, I don't know if
Like,
that was supposed to be funny. My
it
bad.
was. It was. But, like, literally, like, you want to claim, like, that's like people say the world today isn't what it used to be. People are so much more offensive, or people are so much more butthurt, but are they really? We just have more access to social media, and we have more access to more people.
The outcry can be heard.
Mm-hmm.
Even back then, it could be heard. That's why we had protests and riots and shit.
Yeah.
Just, it has changed. It's still there. It's always been in society. It's just we notice it more.
Well,
That's
it's
kind of like
different.
when
It is different now with cancel culture because things like the internet and social media, they've become vital resources to operate in the world. So if somebody like YouTube or Facebook takes down, or LinkedIn were to, take down your profile and you lose access to all your full network and all of your connections, that's a lot of power you lose.
True, but also think about it this way. Back in the day, they had the same thing, but it was called a newspaper.
Right. Nobody reads those anymore.
And if you think about it, though, back then, cancel culture was a thing. Because I was talking to Lee about a comedian. His name was Lenny Bruce. Now, Lenny Bruce is hugely popular amongst the comedy culture. If you look into it, he was the most offensive comedian of his time, to the point where he was blackballed.
And he was arrested how many times and thrown in jail for shit he said?
Yes, he was blackballed by the entertainment industry, yet he still sold out every bar that he played at. Mm-hmm. Basically, cancel culture now is blackballing. That's all it is. It's these companies, these organizations don't like what you're saying, or even sponsors are like, we just don't want that message to be part of us. It's not cancel culture. It's just people are choosing not to associate with you, which is fair.
Yeah.
But the part of cancel culture I don't like is when these companies choose to stay with you, and then people are like, well, I don't like what they said, so blah, 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 you shouldn't be associated with them. No. Don't do an outcry, just don't associate with them. Like, don't go away mad, just go away. Like, kind of mindset. Like, if you don't agree with what they said, talk to your friends about it, let them know what the message is. And if your friend chooses to still listen to that shit, don't hate your friend for it.
You know where I think it all comes from? That outcry, when you don't like something. It's like,
what?
We all have this desire, I think, to sort of, maybe not all of us, but I think most of us have a desire to leave the world better than we found it.
Yeah, fair.
So we're always looking for something to complain about, or a problem to solve, or, a wheel to fix.
Yeah, but do we not have better problems in this country to look at than something a comedian said?
Oh my God, absolutely we do. And we need our comedians to be uncensored, because bringing to light the things that are absurd and making us laugh with realizations, that's progress.
I used to get my news from George Carlin. Like, that's how I got my news. Like,
I got my news from John Oliver.
That too, but like before John Oliver and shit, there was George Carlin. He would do stand-up specials. Him and Lewis Black would do stand-up specials and just talk about the fucked up shit going on in society nowadays.
Yeah, I used to really dig Bill Maher.
I love Bill Maher. I have some of his books. He's fucking hilarious. I also like Stephen
Yeah.
Colbert. He has a book called I Am American, So Can You.
I love him too.
Yeah, he was great. He was in a show called Strangers with Candy, and it was so fucking strange and amazing and offensive, and it was like it would use the R word often to describe people and be like, it's not their fault because they're slow, like, and just
That,
like, and it is
but I got
amazing.
a question though. Is cancel culture really a thing though? Because if you think about it, it only goes after certain people. Like they tried going after Dave Chappelle, but Theo Vaughn's still thriving. And I love Theo Vaughn, but he says some pretty fucked up and offensive shit sometimes. Like, did you ever see the interview he did with that kid that had Down syndrome?
No.
Funny interview, but it got pretty offensive at times. But the kid laughed. Like, they were all in on the joke. But I can easily see somebody looking at that interview and being like, cancel Theo.
Yeah.
But I guess people get canceled when they don't leave it all on the table either. When they're trying not to be offensive and then they grow up and they're like, fuck it, and they start being offensive, like Bob Saget.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
He
Bob's
was
always been
amazing.
he was always offensive, but people didn't realize it until he released comedy specials.
I just wonder, what condition is our culture really in? What condition is our society really in when you can't be your genuine self in public?
I think here's the issue. I think this is where cancel culture came from. Correct me if I'm wrong. When people like what's his name, that dude that got in trouble for harassing and assaulting female workers and shit, that was like a director or producer or whatever. What was his name?
I don't know.
I forget his name, but he got in trouble, and he was a big time name in Hollywood. And then Bill Cosby got in trouble, and then Louis C.K. got in trouble. When these celebrities were getting in trouble for things they would joke about or they would say, now people are looking at everyone instead of just those individual cases and saying, well, he joked about this, maybe he's being serious.
Mhm.
Because Louis C.K. used
Yeah,
to joke about
I
masturbating
remember
in front of
that.
people all
It
the time.
was like
Yeah.
like a war on comedy.
Because
Yeah.
one comic or two comics got in trouble for what they joked about or some things they said, maybe every comedian's serious when they say this shit.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, sometimes I just say shit because I think it might be funny, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, that sucked. And people then are like, oh my God, he talked about this. And I'm like, I just thought it was obscure and fucked up to say that. Like, I just say it just to see people's reactions. I'm not serious. Which makes it hard as a comic in a normal conversation for people to know whether or not you're being serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dated a guy who was a funny guy, and every day was a stand-up performance, I swear. Up until the point where he cracked some joke about how he was going to go teach somebody why the police really ought to be called. And I thought he was just cracking another joke like always. And then he went and cut a guy's head open.
Oh shit.
And I couldn't tell he wasn't just joking.
See, what's weird about comics though is it is hard to tell in normal conversation if they're joking or being serious, because at least this is how I do it. I will sometimes use my friends to try out things that I'm thinking of that I think are funny and see their reaction. Because if it doesn't work, then I just fucking change it up and tell it to somebody else and see if they laugh. And that's how I treat conversation, as like a comedy routine, but also I like to be serious with it too. So I guess what we should do and what I should do, and it's hard to do in a normal conversation, is be like, hey, I think this is funny. What do you think? And then I say it. Instead of just throwing it in a conversation. But I think it's funny throwing it in a conversation, see people's reactions. But I've had people hate me for that shit. They're like, oh, fuck. So, I don't know. I guess like we're in a society where like people take themselves too seriously.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's the ego thing that we talk about occasionally. It's It's an ego trip. Hey, Katie, would you be able to, after this, I'm going to get off of here soon, but would you be able to, after this, help me out with something before I go to work?
Maybe.
I'm going to see if you can help me figure out this fucking computer thing, because for some reason my cam and shit was working, my video and everything. My audio for me was working, but for everyone else it wasn't.
Right. I
Like,
heard you say that. Yeah.
like it even showed like the volume bar was moving when I was talking on my end. But
it wouldn't allow you to stream. It wouldn't allow you to broadcast. I sent you 3 articles. One of them, I believe, has the solution.
Okay. Well, I'm weird. Like I can read. I'm not like dyslexic, and I don't.
Yeah,
have,
I know,
like,
but
any
it's
of
hard
that
to
stuff.
know what to search for, and I'm not familiar with Linux, so either way, I'd have to read the articles.
Well, for me, I feel stupid because it says right there what to do, but I'm more of a hands-on, like you tell me what to do kind of thing instead of reading it.
You like to be told what to do?
Oh yeah, I do. I also like telling people what to do. I'm like a dom and a sub at once. Like I'm like you can go to the store, you can go to Subway, and you can order me. Whenever I went to Subway, I got upset the first time because I thought, you go there and you buy yourself a little sub, sub somebody who's going to submit to you. But no, that's not what they sell there.
Oh, you're making what do you call it? A dom joke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said a sub and a dom. They should make a dom way and a Subway, like, depending on which one you like. Like when you walk into like Subway, you're gonna walk up and they're gonna be like, "What do you want, you dirty little bitch?" And like fucking, you're like, "Oh, I'll like a footlong Italian." I bet you would. And like cut it open, or you can get a dom way where you walk in and you treat them like shit. That's kind of dumb. Oh,
Pickles on it, you fucker.
Yeah, put pickles on it, you dirty motherfucker. We actually have where I live, we have a Subway, and it was built after the fact, but there's a Quiznos across the street, so like the Subway came in with the Quiznos. But what's fucked up though is it was a full truck stop that opened across the street from a mom and pop gas station that has a Quiznos, and they had a Subway and a full truck. I swear they're trying to take my business.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, I think we've talked about all the taboo we can talk about today. I like this format. What do you think, Katie?
Yeah, this is great.
I think I should change the background a little bit because the logo is kind of hard to see.
Yeah, I have an idea for that.
Okay, because I'm awful with fonts. I try to do my own fonts and shit, but like, nope, I can't do it with backgrounds. But Katie, what else would you like to promote, sweetheart, before you go? I know you've got some shit you're working on.
I just want to say shout out to Lee Hacker, shout out to NVB Entity and DJ Pink and DJ Elin and Mike Usenick. And Carrie. Yeah. Everybody working with WPOT, Wicked Pot Live.
And I would also like to state that I appreciate you guys for having me be a part of the team. I appreciate you helping with Pink Sock. Because I'm not used to like that many people helping with the interworkings of Pink Sock and coming up with ideas and getting a hold of guests and shit like that. Well, not getting a hold of guests, but giving me guest ideas. So I'm really looking forward to working not just with WPOT, but working all of us together with our individual projects. Not just Pink Sock, but our individual products and projects and giving ideas and all that shit. Because that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about cross-promoting. And I fucking love that. And I love you guys. And from the bottom of my ball sack to the top part of my heart, I love you guys and I appreciate it. Now, as time progresses, I know we're going to get sponsors and shit, and we're going to start being a legitimate company eventually. We're going to be paying people and shit. If you guys need any help, I'm here, man.
Thank you.
Because I would like to eventually leave my corporate job and be a worker for the station.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Because I won't be able to be just part of the station because eventually I'll have my own projects and shit. But I would like the station to be my full-time job while I do my other projects.
Cool.
And I would like to figure out how to do the DJing thing once you guys are able to like do the whole.
Oh yeah.
Once I'm able to afford it and figure out what my sponsorship and all that shit. Because I have an idea for a radio show
You should
on
actually be
DJing.
able to DJ with a program called Mix, Mixx.
Yeah, but don't I need my own separate license and shit to do all that?
Well, if you're going to broadcast music that's due royalties, then you want to go through someone like Deezer. So
That's what I was
so
talking
the
about.
license you purchase there will allow you to broadcast music in their library,
What I'm
and their
gonna do is
artists get a percentage.
I'm gonna go ahead and end this, Katie, and stay here because I am gonna talk to you about some radio ideas I've got.
Okay.
But guys, that was Pink Sock Podcast. We talked about all kinds of shit, man. And I would like you to know, Katie, that if you're around while we're live, you're more than welcome to join us any week. We do have guests coming up, though. We're going to be doing a lot of pre-records because I'm going to start going into the realm of pre-record, and eventually I'm just going to release Pink Sock Podcast sporadically throughout the week and then do a live episode where it's just this. It's a hangout.
Cool.
But guys, that was Pink Sock Podcast. I love you all. Thank you for supporting my crazy ass, even though we was blank air for a while. Love you all, and as always, live long, rock hard, and stay